Morning, guys. It's the 8th of January. We're Signal Centre. We're talking ball. I am Joe Neighbour, joined by Steve O'Hare and Ian Coleman. Good morning, guys.
Yo.
Morning.
Interesting developments overnight.
Yeah.
Never a dull moment.
Yeah, never a dull moment indeed. So
amazing reaction.
Everybody's aware. Yeah. Iran retaliated with some missile strikes on some US air bases in Iraq. No clue yet about what sort of damage has been done, but judging by Donald Trump's tweet, all is well. So maybe that's a suggestion that there wasn't much in the way of damage.
They don't reckon there's any personnel, do they?
No.
At which point they might be happy just to sort of take that one and de-escalate it from here. And I think that's why we've seen, obviously, the initial move lower in a lot of markets, but then, well, obviously not in commodities. The reverse is true, but it's all sort of come back the other way, back to where we were.
There was gone the news this morning basically saying that if that is their show of strength and if that's all they've got, then the US aren't going to be too.
Doesn't see any point in going at them again, does it? Really?
No.
No, I think the main reaction will be what Trump does about it.
Get your speaker up, Stevie.
I think the main reaction. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
The main reaction is what Trump will do next. His sort of next move. Obviously, he's been seen as the one that's started the conflict by assassinating Suleiman, and this is the sort of reaction back. And they've sort of targeted the air base, which launched the strikes on Suleiman. That's what I understand. And so it's almost tit for tat. So it obviously just depends on what how Trump takes it. At the moment, it looks like there's no casualties. If you hear the word casualties, I think the markets will, equity markets will collapse, and the obviously oil market will rally because at some point it will start to impact the supply.
Yeah, and also we had the news overnight about the airplane coming down, which is obviously very sad.
Yeah,
but no links to that. Just a terrible coincidence, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the one of the Ukraine president has just said he's launching filing a suit against Iran now.
Oh, okay.
So that's just come out in the last.
So they are blaming them, are they?
Yeah, I think the Ukraine president has stopped all flights to Iran and is basically put them as the people, because they're sort of thinking that maybe the Iranian defense missiles may have taken it as a US missile coming in and hit it. There is video footage of it actually crashing.
I saw something coming out of the sky. It didn't look like it was just it looked like it was on fire on the way down, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The engine was on fire. So chances are I mean, a bit sort of a massive coincidence, but the Ukrainian president thinks that the opposite to it at the moment. So we'll see how that escalates as well. So
indeed. Okay. Well, just going on to our trade yesterday, we'll come back to new stuff in a bit. We had some trades on a short DAX position, which made 1.44R.
Lovely. Well done.
That was a bit better off at one stage and would have hit target overnight, but we closed these things off at 9 o'clock. Oil, Steve was selling and made 1.3R. Obviously, that had a huge move higher on the back of the initial breaking of the news. But again, come 9 o'clock, it was looking good. And Ian was stopped on the Euro New Zealand dollar trade. So overall...
another positive.
Yeah, another positive day overall. We're ticking higher on the overall P&L, up now 39.1% since we started. So
it looks like a two-horse race, but you see that one on the side, the little orange one in orange, the orange colour. Yeah. He's like coming up on the rails, it's sort of like, is that the finishing post sort of that next week, or is it how long have I got? To come out with a 20R.
Infinite. Yeah, please do. 20R. So with that, let's have a look at what we got today. I am was taking a look at indices, but due to Steve failing to get out of bed on time,
it was a tactical delay.
It may have been. Can you see that screen here?
Yeah.
Yep.
So based on our intraday analysis today, I did sell the DAX at 13,165. So already nicely on side by about 40 points on that, but I still think there's lower to go. So I'm going to sell here at market at 13,127, and I'm going to place a stop above the high that we've seen today of 60 ticks and target a move down to these lows that we saw overnight. So 12,975. Oh, I'm getting a better entry now. I'm going to take that.
Oh,
13,138.
Keep talking.
Stop loss 50 points now. Target 12.75 at 3.23R. So that's 13,136. That's me.
nice one. Shall I go next?
Yeah.
You're on, Steve.
I'll just run through. Actually, I traded yesterday. You know when you sort of like sold DAX on the content
you
trade?
did it, didn't you?
Yeah, I did actually do it. So wherever
Do I
that
get any
was,
kickback for that or
no.
No.
Did I say that convincingly enough?
Yeah.
Can't remember where I sold it, but I think I said it was up here somewhere, wasn't it? Because
Well, at the time when we did it, the price was 13,260.
yeah, 13,260. I had to stop at 13,315 because I think yours was at 13,310 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I basically I put a target in of 12,950. So I had I mean, it's a great risk reward trade, but
so you didn't get that.
No, couldn't sleep last night. So I came downstairs at midnight and hey ho, it's all kicking off. I've looked at the thing, watching the market thinking, lovely, going to get the 12,950, and I didn't get it. I did buy it back around 13,000 in the end. So
not too
it just
shabby.
shows you that.
Thank God for insomnia, eh?
Well, yeah, but it just shows you that even you sort of like get a great trade on, you know, you're short up here, your target's right down here, you miss it by a few ticks, but also you wake up the next morning and it's right back up here again. You're sort of thinking, you know, you've a crazy event and it just doesn't sort of like the markets just don't seem to have that follow through at the moment, and that's what's making it very, very difficult to trade. And a similar thing in the Dow. I was short the Dow. I got short the Dow around about this level, and I had a ridiculous target. My stop was at 28,425. So again, I saw this well on side, again I bought it back. So it didn't stick to my plan, but you know, I saw the market sort of price action and thought it doesn't feel like it's going to go any further. And then they started saying no casualty, so I bought it back, and I would have been stopped out on the trade, which is just crazy. If you think about when I took that trade yesterday, there was no attacks. No missile attacks. So
yeah, and we're back where we were, but
yeah,
you know, there's so much to be made or lost in between.
Yeah, exactly. So today I'm going to buy gold. I obviously the spike higher overnight, gold broke the $1,600 level, which is a key psychological level, and it has posted a shooting star. And we've seen a nice retracement down. I think we'll get, you know, potentially there's a bit of more on the downside, but I just think that maybe we'll get some rhetoric from Trump, or maybe even sort of, you know, it's de-escalated, but maybe the escalation is only a stone's throw away. So this is my trade idea, intraday trade idea, to buy at 1580, but with a gun.
And you dip back to those previous highs from back on the 6th.
Yeah.
So quite a nice level there, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just thinking here, you had this like previous resistance.
Keep talking, it's going lower.
Yeah, and also the pivot level is around there. I like pivot levels. So I'm going to basically go long here, 1581. So I'll say 1582. I don't care about that.
1581 and a half. Let's cut it through the middle.
All right, and then my stop will be. I'll tell you what, because it's a gun to the head trade, I'll make the stop.
Got to go below that big candle.
Which one? This one.
On the left, the big blue one.
Yeah, I might be a bit. I'm going to be reckless. Don't copy this trade, anyone. This is just me messing about. I'm going to go 78.5. So 51.5. And my target is, so that's 9.5R. So if it goes below 1578.5, which is a ridiculous place to put a stop, I will get stopped out, and that'll
So
be
if
it.
you were
But
being sensible, where would you put the stop? Below that
if I was,
candle?
yeah, if I was being sensible, I would probably.
1568.
I think you'd have to have the stop at 15.55 really.
Okay.
I'd buy, you know, on a more medium term outlook, I'd buy gold all the way down to 15.55, and then if it broke 15.55, I'd stand aside until it started to go higher again, because I
Okay.
think it, you know, there's no. I just think it's sort of like we're looking at, you know, making new highs. 1700 is one of the reverse head and shoulders targets, somewhere up there, 1680, 1700. So we are going higher. This is just a sort of like a small pullback, I think.
Okay.
Is it me done? So I wasted a lot of time
When
there.
you say you're done, you mean you stopped out of that already?
Yeah, and I don't know why I've got oil in the background. Obviously, that's key. Oil again has just come off, but
What's
for
on
the
your
highs.
t-shirt? Brave.
Brave. It's the only trendy t-shirt that fits me.
Right. Okay.
So it's by Diesel.
Nice.
Little plug for Diesel. Not oil.
See if we can
Diesel.
get some free gear. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What are you looking at, Ian?
I'm looking at gold.
Oh,
Get in there,
two
Alan.
I'm
trades on gold.
selling it.
Go on, my
Ooh.
son.
But I'm going to
Love
talk
it.
about the dollar index first. So if the dollar goes up, majority of the time, let me just get rid of him. If the dollar goes up, then gold has a tendency to go down. This is the gold, the dollar index DXY.
Can't see your
You can't see your
chart.
chart. Can you see a
Oh, really?
big rack behind you?
Big pair of jubblies behind you.
Yeah, it was to lighten the load. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can start
Yep.
to see it. Yeah.
Daily chart, cipher pattern, congestion zone here, moving up. I think it's a wedge formation. If we go to a shorter time frame, and this is a 4-hour chart, looks like dollar index is going to break a higher ascending triangle formation. If the dollar goes higher, gold has a tendency to go lower. If we go to the gold chart,
Silver days.
sorry, there you go. I really don't know what I'm doing. Where is it? Gold. Two big barriers here, I think. First of all, we've got a 61.8% fib at 1586. I think the wave formation, this last leg to the upside, could be seen in 5 waves. If we go to this chart, which is the intraday chart, it's just breaking through support, and I think we're going to move down towards this gap close. So I'm selling gold. With a really poor R. I'm going to have to move it down to there, aren't I? To at least get something decent. So I'm selling gold at 1581, stop at 1596, targeting 1538.
Now, I'd hate it now if it actually got to 1550 this afternoon and then rallied all the way back by 9 o'clock.
Yeah. It might. I mean, you never know. Price action could bounce off here, make a head and shoulders.
Yeah.
Downside. I'm really focusing. I should have taken just the dollar index probably.
Yeah, you could do the dollar index. Yeah.
But that's really what I'm focusing on. That dollar.
Yeah, I mean, but like you say, the dollar will govern the gold move anyway. So
yeah,
it will be the same thing.
That little one there.
Yep. That little diddly there.
Cool.
Lovely.
So we've covered most of the headlines, which obviously market moving overnight. But just to round up on yesterday's data, the overall US trade deficit declined to a 3-year low. We also had ISM non-manufacturing index, which strengthened to 55 from 53.9 previously. Obviously, all of it seems quite inconsequential considering what's happened with the overnight price action. Today, we've got some Eurozone business confidence data, which is due out at 10 a.m. We've got US ADP at 1:15, and we've got crude inventories at 3:30. We also have Prime Minister's questions today. It's the first time Boris will be making an appearance this year. And obviously, he will be full steam ahead on Brexit for the 31st of January. And I believe that he will be meeting the EU Commission President von der Leyen today as she begins her new role. So keep an eye out for some developments potentially in sterling later on today.
Lovely.
Anything else to add, anyone?
No, ADP this afternoon. So, you might get a little bit of volatility thrown in there. And you've got the weekly crude oil inventories, which they expected a build It was I saw some headlines overnight from the OPEC chief saying we've seen serious revisions of oil demand forecasts. Current oil spare capacity is around 3 to 3.5 million barrels per day. Sees a decrease in oil inventories. OPEC sees a decrease in oil inventories. So yeah, they've got that. So that we'll have the volatility at 3:30.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, well, I think that pretty much rounds up everything. Good luck on your trades, gents, and we'll catch you tomorrow.
All right, cheers.
Have a good one,
Cheers,
lads.
guys. Bye-bye.
Cheers.